depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about a new item card, which has gone and been revealed. And this one could be really, really good. A little bit niche. Maybe not for every deck. But it could certainly end up being a very good card that sees a whole bunch of play. What we've got is Hisuian Heavy Ball. And as a little bit of a side note, right, can I just once again say that I had so much fun playing Legends Arceus that seeing all of these cards that are now, bringing Legends Arceus and the characters, items, Pokémon, etc. from that game into the TCG, it's making me very happy. It really is making me very happy indeed. Legends Arceus is awesome. I would recommend it highly, but I'm assuming by now, if you're watching this video, either you've played a boatload of Legends Arceus, or you have decided it's not for you. Hopefully the former, because that game is awesome. Now, something that probably shouldn't surprise you here is that our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, and it's going to sound a little bit familiar. So what we see is, look at your face-down prize cards. Reveal a basic Pokemon you find there, put it into your hand, and put this Hisuian Heavy Ball in its place. If you don't reveal a card, you put this card in the discard pile. Then shuffle your face-down prize cards. Cool. Now, here's the thing. This actually does two things very nicely. Firstly, it gets you a basic Pokemon. That's the real point of the card. And secondly, it lets you look at your prizes. Now, this ain't no Town Map, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Town Map was great card, had it for a while, huge card. As former world champion, played it in like every deck. The thing is, this isn't Town Map. And the reason is extremely simple. Town Map keeps the cards revealed. This doesn't. Here, you take a card from your face-down prizes, and then you shuffle them up at the end. So you don't get that knowledge of where the prizes are, and that's a little bit sad. What it does do is it tells you which cards are in your prizes. Now, there is... You could point out here, I think it's fair, that a good player should already know. If you're looking at your prizes early game, you should know your deck list, you should be able to look through your prize cards, and you should be able, on your first deck search, and the judges will allow you a little bit longer for your first deck search as long as you don't take the mic, you should be able to deduce which cards are in your prizes and which cards aren't. But firstly, that takes a bunch of time. Secondly, you can forget. Thirdly, it's kind of awkward. Here, you just know. You just look. And you see what's in there. Again, it is absolutely fair to point out that you should be able to do this anyway, but this gives you a nice, easy way to do it, and that is rather lovely. But also, it lets you go and get a basic Pokemon. Now, of course, there is that question to ask of, well, hang on a second, what if you don't get a basic Pokemon? Well, if you don't get one, you don't get one. It's awkward. And it's kind of a bit contradictory, because on the one hand, you should know when you look at your prizes, you should know whether you're going to find a basic Pokemon or not, because you should hopefully have already done a deck search and figured it out. But then again, I just told you that one of the big advantages of this card was the fact that you get a good look at what's in your prizes, so surely it's one or the other. Either looking at your prizes isn't that relevant because you already know what's in them, or you looking at it and you may or may not get a basic Pokemon you don't know. It's a little bit weird. But the point is, basic Pokemon are good. You want basic Pokemon. And some decks are going to want this more than others. A deck which is doing weirdly, suspiciously well lately is Durant. Durant has long been a joke deck, a bit of a meme deck, and I've mentioned many times that the old version of Durant, the one from Noble Victories, is my least favourite deck ever. I believe I've made more than one video on this channel stating that. But the fact of the matter is, we've seen Durant do very well lately. We've seen it topping tournaments. We've even seen it winning a very large online tournament just a week or two ago. So the fact of the matter is, Durant is back, Durant is good. But of course, what Durant does is it lets you discard a number of cards from the top of your opponent's deck equal to the number of Durant that you've got in play. So if you don't have all of your Durant in play, things get very, very awkward. If I've got 3 Durant in play, I'm not discarding the top 4 cards of my opponent's deck, I'm discarding the top 3 cards of my opponent's deck. But this isn't a one-turn thing, because this turn I'm discarding 1 fewer card, and next turn I'm discarding 1 fewer, and the turn after and this builds up. Over the course of several turns, there is actually a fairly large difference in the amount of cards that end up hitting the discard pile. So when you're playing Durant, you want to get them out as fast as possible. And when Durant was around initially in Noble Victories, we had a way to do it, but it was super duper awkward. We had the combination of Alpha Lithograph and Rotom. Now, it was very awkward, alright? But Alpha Lithograph basically was that card that let you look at your face-down prize cards. There were 4 of them, 1 in each of the Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver sets. And it was awkward, but we finally got a good one 4th time round. They weren't good cards, this one was. Then we had the Rotom that came around in Undaunted, and Rotom let you swap the top card of your deck with one of your face-down prize cards, which of course was super awkward, unless you happen to know what was in your prize cards and you were good. And this is a similar kind of thing, except instead of 1 item and then using Rotom every turn, you just play the 1 item. Now, the thing that Rotom could do is you would bench it, and then you could use the Poker Power every turn. Here, it's kind of 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Durant. But when you're playing decks like Durant, you need all 4 of those Durant. There's no if, buts, or maybes. You have got to have all 4 of those Durant out, and this is phenomenal. Certainly in Durant decks, and like I've said, Durant is becoming a legitimate deck we all need to start taking seriously. As much as I dislike it, I've got to take it seriously. And this is going to be a card which is going to make that deck better. You know, we saw that double turbo energy came around in Brilliant Stars, and that is one of the big things which has really helped, because now we've got twin energy and double turbo energy, so we've got enough energy cards here that we can legitimately just rely on always having the right energy rather than having only 4 of them, and then it becomes super awkward when those 4 run out, etc. Plus, of course, having 8 in your deck rather than 4 does make them easier to draw into. So a deck like Durant is going to absolutely love this card. What about other decks? Because it gets a basic Pokemon, but I don't think anyone is going to argue this is better than Quick Ball. Quick Ball, you get to search your deck for a basic Pokemon. You have to discard a card from your hand. It could be good, it could be bad, depending on your hand and the deck and all of that. But it gets a basic Pokemon from your deck. And the fact of the matter is, at the beginning of the game, you've got a 60-card deck. You take out 6 for prizes. You take out 7 for your hand. Then you got 47 cards in your deck and 6 cards in your prizes. Well, I mean, come on. It is far more likely that you're going to have the basic Pokemon you want in your deck than in your prizes. So you're not going to be playing this instead of Quick Ball. But in addition to? Yeah. This could be played in addition to Quick Ball. And in some decks like Durant, I mean, again, you're still going to be playing for Quick Ball in Durant, let's be obvious. But I think this is absolutely going to find a place. But this strikes me very much as a 1 or 2 of, rather than a 4 of. And let's not forget, as much as you don't actually get any extra information here, being able to look at your prizes is still incredible. Because there have been games, I'll admit it, there have been games where I have lamented that a certain card was prized and then drawn into that card. Admittedly, these are in games where I was, let's say, not as tuned in as I could be. We're not talking top cut of regionals here, but, you know, there have been some local tournaments where I've done like a half-hearted deck search and been like, oh man, that card's prized, and then drawn into it and been like, oh, I'm a bit silly. So where we're left with here is it's not an essential card. It is not going to be one that you play every deck, but as a 1 or 2 of, as a nice easy way to check what's in your prizes, as a way to get extra basic Pokemon, as a way to get cards which are prized, as a staple in stuff like Durant, yeah, absolutely. Incidentally, there was Azalf back in the day that got Pokemon out your prizes, which was an absolutely essential card. However, Azalf could get any Pokemon, not just basics, and being a Pokemon, you could search it out with the ball cards. This is not Azalf, all right? It's not. It is Beast Ball, however. I've left you hanging since the beginning of the video. I said we've seen this card before, it looks kind of familiar. It's basically Beast Ball. and Beast Ball was for Ultra Beasts, and this is for basic Pokemon. So clearly the fact you can get basic Pokemon is way better. I mean, imagine this. Imagine it's early in the game. You draw a rubbish opening hand, you have a Quick Ball, so you go and search for your Luminion to get a supporter card to get you rolling. Oh no! Luminion's in your prizes. Now imagine that Quick Ball is a Hisuian Heavy Ball. Now we're rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're rolling. Of course, the amount of times that's actually going to happen and you're going to have your Hisuian Pokeball in hand, might not work. I don't know. The point is, useful card, gonna fit in a bunch of decks, and I will consider this as a 1 or 2 of in a lot of decks moving forward. And it may end up being cut for other cards as the deck list gets tighter and tighter, but certainly as a 1 or 2 of to check my prizes, get a basic Pokemon that might end up prize, there is a good reason to play this. And like I've said, some decks it'll be essential. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. But I want to know what you think. Do you think this is going to be a staple in nearly every deck? Do you think it's just too niche? Tell me what you think about it. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.